Harrison Ford, I don't know what you're doing, but I kinda like it. You're watching Beyond the Trailer's review of Paranoia.
I'm gonna make you rich.
What?
You are going to work for my competition.
This is stealing trade secrets.
This is the opportunity you've been waiting for. Because you want to know how the other half lives.
Morning. We're reinventing you.
Let it go, breathe a little, just let it.
If you want to be accepted, you have to look the part.
Let it go.
I'm on the eve of a revolution, and it's something you're never going to be able to duplicate.
Is that so?
Harrison Ford's management team has been doing a boffo job these past few days, raising the iconic actor's profile to heights not seen since Indiana Jones 4 was announced. And it's a restoration job badly needed, as Ford hasn't had a hit since Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull back in 2008, and before that, What Lies Beneath in 2000, where, by the way, he didn't even star. That was technically Michelle Pfeiffer's last win. In addition to embracing his new wacky persona on screen in a brilliant turn in 42, Ford was able to save the day when Bruce Willis just dropped out of The Expendables 3, all the while loudly hinting he'd like to make Indiana Jones 5. But who wouldn't after Ford begged almost $70 million alone for his fourth outing in the fedora, which is probably why he agreed to just $3 million for 4 days of work on The Expendables, while Willis wanted $4 million. Now he's got Paranoia hitting theaters, a thriller where he takes the seasoned character actor role opposite the kind of role he used to play, Liam Hemsworth's Adam Cassidy. Is this maybe where Ford's passion has lain all along? He'll also play a grizzled Colonel Graff in tween sci-fi actioner Ender's Game later this year, yet that pick looks to be crushed not by Formix but the competition. Paranoia isn't expected to do much better, which begs the question, is someone setting Ford up? Likely lured in by co-stars Gary Oldman and Richard Dreyfuss, Ford could have easily missed the fact that box office poison bombshell Amber Heard also stars, while Katherine Heigl's old whipping boy directs. However, many did enjoy Lukatek's Legally Blonde, and I liked Win a Date with Todd Hamilton and The Ugly Truth. Yet Lukatek has his own image to restore after directing the whitewashed 21.
Well, it's not that bad. I mean, infamously, Paranoia is rocking like a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, like a 3% on Friday. And when I went in to see it, I was like really nervous. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna have to sit through this movie. And I think because I went with such low expectations, I thought the first half of it was actually pretty solid. And it has a fantastic soundtrack by electronica composer Junkie XL. And I'm actually going to get that on iTunes. I liked it that much. And I thought that kind of setting up the world of the film worked very well, you know, like the haves and have-nots and introducing Liam Hemsworth to that area. But once it started to get kind of like into the espionage, like the corporate espionage aspects of the film, it got just a little tired and boring and a little bit, you know, trite and predictable. I would almost say the movie was overwritten. I think it's one of those films, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this, that tries to be a little too clever and therefore just kind of ends up making not a lot of sense or seeming, I think, a little bit naive. And I think the main takeaway from this movie for me is that as television gets better and better, I think movies really, you know, they can no longer kind of phone it in. They really have to step up their game and keep it up there. Because if you wanted to see a movie like this, you'd be better off watching Suits on USA. I think that's a fantastic show. I really am a big fan. And it's been getting some attention lately with people saying, you know, why doesn't Suits get more praise? Because it's so good. And the answer is because it's on USA, which isn't like isn't a prestige network. But also, there's another trailer that's out that played actually in front of this movie for a film called Out of the Furnace, with Christian Bale and Casey Affleck. And I saw that trailer, and I was like, why would someone see this movie when they could just watch Justified on FX, a great show that kind of covers the same area. So that's my advice. I mean, if I wouldn't see Paranoia in theaters, but if you're looking for a solid rental, I think it's a good way to pass the time. It's enjoyable. And the first part of it, I said, is pretty good. But again, you'd be better off watching Suits. And if you're not watching that show, I recommend checking it out. And I would check out Justified as well. Two really quality television shows. And movies, just, I think that they're with such strong competition on the small screen and such good storytelling that, it's not enough. It's just not enough to just put a bunch of movie stars and throw them up on the screen in a nice environment. It just doesn't work anymore. So that's my thoughts on Paranoia. If you've seen the film, be sure to write it down below. I thought all the acting was fine. I thought the directing was fine. I think where the movie failed, in my opinion, was the script. It was overwritten. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you'll check out some more right now.